Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of A Little Bit Unglamorous. I'm your host, Erica Renee. How cool is this? Clearly I have a different background this week. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm going to try a little bit further away from the microphone today. How cool is this phone I found at my parents' house? I think this used to be my grandma's. So cool. Anyway, so in true nature, I've procrastinated filming this today. I got so caught up in some other stuff I'm really excited about, and I'm probably just going to tell you what it is because, you know what, if you listen to the podcast, if you watch the podcast, you have the right to know first before anybody my new projects I'm really excited for, so I'm just going to tell you. So I've been thinking lately, all of the influencer girlies have a newsletter, so naturally I need a newsletter too. And so I spent the last few days kind of sorting out the logistics. I've had a subscriber list for my website for a while, but I've never really done much with it. It does send out emails whenever I post a new blog on the website, which is not very frequent these days. I've been focusing on other things like Instagram and Reels, and so I decided to revamp that, and hopefully one day, if I have a subscriber base, they can always go back to my email list and my website. So yeah, I'm gonna have a newsletter. It's gonna be a beauty, fashion, lifestyle, the same concept as most of my brand, and I think I want to launch it on Friday. So we'll see. I might hold off. I kind of want to hold off a week just to build a little bit of hype, get people subscribing, but I'm probably going to be too excited to do that. So you heard it here first. I'm going to have a weekly newsletter every Friday in your inbox. So I will put the link below in the description if you want to subscribe to my newsletter. I feel like this is kind of going to be the traveling podcast because every episode you see me with a different background. So today I'm in Palm Springs. I came here for the week for my mom's birthday. Can I honestly say I just love being able to work on the go. I've been so grateful to be able to focus on some of my passion projects the last few years. Ever since COVID, I really have honed in on doing things on the side that really truly make me happy. So I'm so grateful for that, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Whatever platform you listen to it on, whether it be Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, thank you so much. So let's get into the drive down here because so from San Diego, the drive to Palm Springs is roughly 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 with traffic, and I believe it took me 4.5 hours on Friday. So today is, I'm filming this on, what is today? I'm filming this on Monday, so just a few days ago before the weekend. So I noticed while I was driving down here, my GPS was sort of freaking out and it couldn't decide what length of time it was going to take me to get here, which I thought was kind of odd, and I kind of kicked myself for not taking the straight freeway route. But it ended up not being that. There was actually a major accident on the 10 freeway. There was a semi that was turned over, and I was sitting in the fast lane with my car in park for at least 40 minutes. I kid you not, people were getting out of their cars, stretching. I'm making eye contact with these people just standing on the freeway. Almost had this camaraderie because we're all sitting in traffic in smoldering heat with nowhere to go, no exits, everything was closed. It was a parking lot, and I'm just grateful that I didn't run out of gas. I actually had a full tank of gas for one of the first times ever. And I'm also grateful that I have a car that has air conditioning that works amazingly well, because my very first car that I had, loved that car, so cute, the air conditioning did not work. It just blew hot air. And I remember I used to drive to job interviews at the time. I was freshly out of college, and I would have my little suit and blazer on, and I would be melting. And it wouldn't even be that hot outside. I'd have all the windows down. There was no such thing as the Bluetooth in the car. I think I had one of those like little adapters so I could talk on the phone, but I had to have the phone on speaker so I could talk into the phone, but I could hear whoever's talking to me out of the speakers. Love that car. But anyway, I've upgraded since then. So I did come down for my mom's birthday. We had so much fun over the weekend. We shopped our hearts out, walked around the mall. We walked around El Paseo. Well, I say walked around very lightly because it was so, and I'm not even joking, I grew up in this desert. It is so hot and humid. You cannot stand outside for more than 10 minutes. It's disgusting. Arguably the worst time to come visit, but at least there's no traffic. I'm always astonished whenever I come home from San Diego to here how it's so peaceful driving on the road. There's maybe 1 or 2 cars. I am by no means from a small town, but it just makes me that much more grateful for it. So the other night we went to dinner on El Paseo. If you're not familiar with the area, it's kind of like the Rodeo Drive of Palm Springs. Very fancy, very ritzy. There are like some expensive stores, but there are some nice restaurants that locals go to, and it's not too outrageous if you know where to go. So we went to this little Mexican restaurant called Armando's, which the food was very good. It did get kind of busy in there. It was a small place, and the AC, it could have been a little colder, but the food was delicious and it was a lot of fun. My mom and I always enjoy driving around the city, just going to all of our old stomping grounds, and I always love visiting the mall whenever I come down here. And I don't know if you remember the day and age where malls, that was the place to be. Maybe it's the millennial in me, but I always get so much nostalgia whenever I go to the mall. And going to the MAC store that's there, the same MAC store I went to buy all of my makeup in middle school, high school, for all of my dances, prom. It's like a MAC in the JCPenney there, and I remember people used to get their makeup done for all of these big events. So I was there the other day with my mom, and I thought to myself, we have to go to the MAC store. It's my favorite place to go and peruse the makeup. And I'm looking at their little lip glosses, and I did come for a very specific shade that I wanted, which I'm wearing right now. It's a very sheer shade. It's a very sheer nude. It's called Thanks, It's MAC, which I think is so cute. But I was looking at their lip glosses, and I picked up a shade that I thought was really pretty. I looked at the color, and funny enough, it was the exact shade that I purchased in middle school, the very first lip gloss I ever owned, which was a crazy coincidence. It's called MAC Love Child, and it's like this plummy, glittery, sticky gloss. If you remember the matte glosses, they're all very sticky, but there's something I really enjoy about that. I don't know why. It just like that nostalgia. It's not the best lip gloss, but it just brings back all the memories, so I keep buying them time and time again. And I don't know, is MAC not the in makeup brand anymore? I know when I was growing up, MAC used to be the makeup to buy. It was the only makeup to buy. You would go and get your one eyeshadow for $18, covet that one little shade, wear it every single day. Now in the age of fast fashion, fast makeup, affordable drugstore that actually performs well, it's kind of not the same experience that it was. But I'm so glad that there's more affordable brands and resources like YouTube showing you actually how to do your makeup, because that was not a thing when I was growing up. And I'm going to stop aging myself now. So we shopped our heart out in Palm Springs. I was feeling fancy on El Paseo. And I was really excited because I finally got to use this travel luggage that I bought during COVID. I know, so ridiculous. I don't even think it was on sale. But I have this like pink sparkly travel luggage, and I was really excited I can finally use all that stuff. I'm probably going to be traveling a lot in the near future, so I'm very excited. One thing I was thinking about the other day, and a lot of people always comment because every day I'll get up, or at least I try every day to get up and get ready, full face of makeup, put together my outfit, even though most days I don't really go anywhere. And I always try to do that because it always makes me feel like I'm put together for the day. It puts me in a good mood. And I was thinking to myself how, you know how growing up you always have that one outfit or pair of shoes, and it's like the special occasion outfit, and you try to always save it for that special occasion, and then suddenly that special occasion sometimes never comes, or when it does, that's not the same outfit or shoes that you want to wear. It's out of style. And I was thinking about that, how I would always save things for something special. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? Every day is something special. So I try to live life like that. Every day you wake up, it's a special day, and you should always look your best, feel your best, never wait for a Friday for that one occasion to wear the outfit that you want to wear. Just wear it. Segueing into a completely different topic, but an important one that I really wanted to mention because I've been thinking a lot lately. Now that I've had the experience and privilege to have worked a couple of different jobs in my everyday 9 to 5, 8 to 6, I've worked with quite a few different companies. When I was younger, I was afraid of trying new things, breaking out of my shell, and that included new jobs. When I was comfortable somewhere, I stayed there, and I was thinking about that, especially now that I've had the chance and opportunity to be at quite a few different companies that really stifled me. And it's funny because my mom always used to tell me, my grandfather would say, you know, you pick a company, and this was very much that generation, right? You pick a company, you work there for your entire life, you retire at the same company, you stay loyal to them, you get your pension, and that's that. Job hopping for my mom's generation was very frowned upon almost. People thought, why can't you hold a job? They didn't understand or grasp the concept that you could be hopping jobs for more money, for better opportunities, for a better work environment. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. So I have a few life lessons that I have learned, and I want to impart my wisdom onto you because maybe this is common knowledge, but I feel like I didn't know this. So I'm going to share it with you. The first lesson is, if you don't get it in writing, it never happened. If your boss promises you a raise, if someone agrees to take something off your plate, if someone agrees to give you more authority or responsibility, thank them and then let them know you'll be following up via email, or have them follow up via email. And if they don't, you better be sending that email to them. If you don't get it in writing, it never happened. Second life lesson, when it comes to the work field at least, always negotiate. I do not care if you think everybody in your field gets paid the same base rate. I'm here to tell you, they do not. Even if you get an offer and it's way more than you ever expected and you're so happy with it, it couldn't hurt to ask for more. What are they going to do? Say no? I always recommend that you do your research on what your salary range in that field is to get an idea of what you should be asking for. If you have friends in that field who are willing to share the range with you, or even do your research on LinkedIn, see what other job postings are offering. But I've definitely worked jobs in the past where it felt like whatever they are offering me, I should just feel grateful for just having this job, for spending the majority of my life there just wasting away, getting paid minimum wage. You should always be negotiating, and you should always be asking for raises annually. The worst they can do is say no. And if they say no too many times, guess what? You need to be looking for another employer. Job hopping is the best way to increase your income versus staying at the same employer forever. Hands down. And it's crazy because with the era of Gen Z, and everybody always saying they're the laziest generation, but it's funny, it kind of goes back to the whole work smarter, not harder. I saw something recently that said Gen Z will not even apply to a job if the salary range is not listed on it, and the first comment under it was, good for them, they shouldn't be, which is so true. And they also get a lot of slack for the generation that doesn't hold jobs for very long. However, I feel like it's because they don't tolerate a lot of things that other generations did. Terrible work environments, below average pay. There's so many opportunities out there now, especially with remote work. You shouldn't stay in a place that you're unhappy with, period. And the best time you should be looking for a new job is when you already have one. Even if you're happy with it, you should at least put feelers out and see what the market is like. The first major job move I ever did, I found while I had a job already. And I was kind of looking to make a move, but I wasn't sure if I was serious about it. And then suddenly, the next interview, the third interview. Here I am, I got to make a decision. It seems like a great idea, and I took the jump. And if I would have never done that, I would have never be where I am today. So I urge you, take the jump. The next thing, I forgot what number I was on. I feel like I'm just spewing out things now, but I feel so passionately about this. The next thing is, do not succumb to imposter syndrome. I guarantee you there's someone out there who is less smart than you, less qualified than you, who is getting paid more than you. And this happens so often. Just apply for the job, even if you don't feel like you're completely qualified, even if you feel like you're 40% qualified. Guess what? Somebody who has the self-confidence, who is not qualified at all, might apply for that job and get it. The next thing that I didn't do for a very long time that I read recently while I was looking for a new employer is you should always take your graduation year off your resume. If you're younger, it works against you. If you're older, it works against you. If you're younger, employers might look at you and think, oh, well, they're not seasoned enough. They are just starting out in this career field and they deserve a very base entry-level pay. If you're older, ageism comes in. So take that graduation year off. It can only hurt you. So that's my little life advice tip of the week for you. Just some things that I've learned over the years that I feel like I should have known earlier. So I've been following a lot of influencer girlies on Instagram lately. I like to cop their style, and also some big influencers, and I've just been kind of studying how they are able to grow their following, keep their following, what they do. That was the one driving force of me wanting to have a newsletter. I feel like it's important to, have a base for the people that are watching you. And some of my favorite accounts lately are influencers that are very candid with how much money they make, because I don't think people realize how much money there is to be made in social media. Like, it's crazy. And some accounts that I really enjoy watching are people that they do extravagant unboxings, and I guess it might seem to some very out of touch, very unattainable, but in my mind, I think to myself, how are they able to build that income stream and sustain that lifestyle, and how can I do that too? And I've said this before, but who cares what Jessica down the street thinks of what you post online? Just post it. Who knows? What if something comes from it and you can laugh your way to the bank later? And keep going, even if it feels silly. Trust me, some days even I feel silly. You might be creating content for a long time and have no one watching. So you really have to enjoy it. But if you're consistent, I've seen it pay off for so many people. And you know what? People might find some value in what you're posting and see the authenticity, and they want to follow along with your journey, which is what I hope every single day that people want to do. Somebody, even if one person resonates with my podcast and enjoys listening to it and says, hey, I really enjoyed that, or I really learned something, or that was hilarious. That's my only goal, and that would make my day, make my week, make my life. So moving on into some fun pop culture stuff that I have noted for this week. So the first major thing is, I didn't realize this until I came back to the desert, but Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business. Am I late to that train? My mom and I drove over to the little town plaza over the weekend, and we saw a closing sale. So of course we had to walk in, and apparently it was like the last week of the store even being open. Almost everything was picked over. I think the only time I really shopped at Bed Bath & Beyond is when I was getting ready to go to college. We did some damage at Bed Bath & Beyond. Something I'm really excited for is, and I've been talking about it for the last few episodes, Britney Spears finally announced her book. It's coming out in October, and I cannot wait. I hope she does an Audible version, and I hope she narrates it. And I'm curious as to what she is going to say in the book, what she cannot say in the book, but you best believe I'm going to buy it the immediate moment it is released. It's coming out on October 24th, just before Halloween, and it's called The Woman in Me, which is a play on one of her early songs, A Girl, Not Yet a Woman. And the photo on the cover is gorgeous. It's from the height of the Britney era, and it just encompasses the phenomenon that is Britney Spears. Side note, I heard rumors that she might be coming out with a new album. I think I've mentioned this before, but other rumors have said that she's actually recorded a single with will.i.am, who she has worked with in the past. Their song, I believe it was called Scream and Shout, and it was a pretty good bop. I think it was in 2011, something like that. 2000 sounds about right. So I know it's been quite a long time since she's come out with something. That would be so exciting. I know she has been through so much, and for her to even be recording and doing the most, putting out this book after everything, just goes to show how hard of a worker she is. I know after the whole 2000 meltdown that people focused on in the tabloids, the other hand of that was she released her album Blackout right during that, and it was one of her highest charting albums to date, I believe. She did that. So I won't be surprised if she has an amazing comeback. I love Britney. She'll always have a special place in my heart. Speaking of my 90s dreams, I also heard that the Spice Girls might be doing a reunion. I remember their last reunion tour. They got together for, what was it? I can't remember. And I remember it was such a big deal, and they rode in these cars, all like 5 of them, in separate directions, and they all met in the middle, and they started singing their hit songs, and people went crazy. God, what was that for? It was some concert. I'm sure I will remember after I'm done filming this. So I'm not sure if the Spice Girls have done reunions since, but just without Victoria because she's too cool for school. But rumor is she's actually on board for this reunion too, and I would love to see that. I felt like the last time they got back together was my last chance to ever see them, and now this is probably definitely it. So if they are doing a reunion, I definitely want to see it. Something else I saw the other day, actually, everybody has a Vegas residency lately, I feel. So Miranda Lambert, I believe, has a Vegas residency, or she was singing in Vegas. I'm fairly certain it's a residency, and it's crazy because now residencies in Vegas are the coveted thing, when in the past it was where musicians went to die. Anyway, Miranda Lambert stopped her concert while she was starting to sing a song. She stopped abruptly to point out these girls who were in one of the front rows taking a selfie during her song, proceeded to chastise them and say, these girls are really pissing me off right now. Basically berate them when they paid, I'm sure, a very pretty penny to go see her in concert. I mean, I feel like it's one thing if they were being loud and obnoxious and belligerent during her set, but just having a great time and taking a photo together to remember the memory, it seems really out of line for Miranda to do that. After this happened, a bunch of other people at the show got up and left, which, I mean, if I had already paid for the tickets, I don't know if I would leave in that moment, but if I was the person taking a photo with whatever great friend came with me to the show, probably one of my favorite artists, because if I'm spending $500+ on tickets, they must be the best thing known to man. And to have my idol point me out in the audience and berate and shame me, ooh, I think Miranda was in the wrong for that one. People are paying good money to see her, and, you know, if they're having a good time and not disrupting, what do you think? Was she in the wrong? Did she have a right to do that? Let me know. Other random celebrity news that I'm sure will infuriate a lot of people is Cardi B gift her daughter Culture a $20,000 Birkin bag. And now that I'm saying that, I feel like I might have mentioned it before, or it probably was Kylie Jenner gifting her daughter Stormy some outrageous ring. Speaking of the Kardashians, my Kar Jenner update of the week is Kylie was seen with Jordyn Woods, hanging out for the first time in 4 years since the whole scandal broke with Tristan Thompson, who, if you don't know, he's some basketball player dating Chloe's baby daddy. And Kylie's best friend Jordan was seen at a party hooking up with him. And it was this whole explosive, chaotic thing, totally out of left field, very bizarre. And the family shunned Jordan, rightfully, shunned Tristan, but not for very long. I think the excuse was he's, you know, the father of Chloe's children, so she kind of had to be on good terms with him, which, I don't know, they seem to forgive him very quickly and then just cast off Jordan into the island of misfit toys, which I'm not saying I would forgive either of them. However, it just seemed a little weird. Oh, and in my notes I had Tristan Thompson, and I'm really mad that I did not take the opportunity to say that right now. So last night I was on my phone scrolling random news articles, and I saw something that jogged my memory from forever ago. You know, when you're just going about your daily life and you see something or read something that jogs a memory you didn't even know you had. Well, who remembers these two conjoined twins? I believe they were on MTV at one point. They had their own TV show, and their names are Abby and Brittany Hensel. So I saw an article the other day that said they just turned 30, which is crazy. I remember when I was watching them on TV, they were just starting out their career, and they were both fifth grade teachers, and they were just trying to figure out life as two people in one body. So they're conjoined twins, and they have one body. Each has a separate heart, stomach, spine, pair of lungs, and spinal cord, and then from the waist downwards, they share all of their organs. And if I remember correctly, one twin had motor functions of the left side and the other had motor functions of the right side. So when they're driving, for example, each twin is controlling the different side. So I saw an article the other day about them and how they just got married. And I immediately was Googling everywhere to get more information because I am so intrigued by this. I couldn't find any articles. I don't know if it was just a spoof. I think actually I saw it on TikTok. So I don't know if it was just a random post that has no truth to it, but I feel like I need to know more. I feel like after I'm done filming this, more stuff might come out about it if it is true, but I have so many questions. I am so interested. So we're going to end this podcast on a high note. The last thing I have noted is the Barbie movie. Barbie is coming out, I believe this week in like 3 days, the 21st. And I have seen so many Barbie themed everything lately. Mattel has licensed the Barbie name to anybody and everybody they can think of. I've seen Barbie pink travel luggage, makeup, clothing collaborations, everything. Their marketing team is on point, and I saw the track list for the CD or for the soundtrack, and they have a lot of good artists that made songs just for the movie. So they also have a lot of high ticket actors in the movie, and I think it's actually going to be a really good one. I'm excited to see it. So I'm thinking maybe in the future it would be fun to get together with my girlfriends and go see the Barbie movie. But that is all I have for you this week. I will put the link to my up-and-coming newsletter below if you feel inclined to subscribe. It will be every Friday in your inbox. Beauty tips, current obsessions, travel tips, recipes, random things that I love, you name it. And I would love it if you subscribed. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, guys. Yeah.